So
Gotcha. All right. We're live. We live.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
We got opinions.
Opinions.
Saltcast.
Let's talk about Saltcast
All
on
right.
here. We're gonna talk
What's
about
going
GW.
on?
GW Salt. It's always GW Salt.
I mean, they have the best salt.
Yeah.
All right. What
Let's
have
talk about
GW
this
done?
preview. This Adepticon preview coming up
Oh, I
next
haven't. I
week.
haven't seen anything else about
Oh, you
it.
haven't seen anything
No,
about
no,
it?
no,
It's
no.
nothing. Okay, so they showed a preview. They're apparently gonna have a new show that's probably gonna be a little more entertaining than the previous shows.
All right.
Maybe. Nothing like really big. They show what they're gonna have: 40k, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, Old World, Kill Team, whatever, all that stuff.
Okay.
Plus exciting teasers for Necromunda and Warhammer: The Horus Heresy, which is probably just gonna be more tanks or something.
Right. It's gonna be the obvious.
They showed at the bottom of this a bone dog.
A bone dog.
A bone dog. It's
Okay.
a bone doggo. It's obviously Bone Reapers.
Okay.
There's obviously going to be new Bone Reapers. I wonder if this is a Bone Reaper expansion or if it's going to be a kill
Like
Warcry.
a Warcry thing or like an
Yeah.
Underworld thing or something.
Right. Like
I can see it either way. Yeah.
So I think it's going to be good. That's not the GW issue, but that we'll see. We'll see next week after
I could also see like maybe like one of the like filler campaign books because I don't think Bone Reapers have been in any of the what is it called?
Books.
The Dawnbringer.
Dawnbringer.
Yeah, they haven't had a Dawnbringer expansion yet, so
yeah,
it could be a Dawnbringer thing too.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
But
I mean that'd be cool. All right.
The other thing I've heard.
Okay.
This is down the pipeline. Somebody did a video on this.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about this, about GW and the local gaming stores. So retailers, local retailers.
No, what's going on?
Okay. Apparently what GW has now come out is that local retailers are gonna go into a lottery system. They will not guarantee copies to local retailers anymore.
Copies of what?
Of whatever.
You mean like
any
codexes?
Release. Of any release.
Why?
They will not guarantee, like, you won't get 20 guaranteed now. You have to lottery for them, and you'll get it whatever you lottery for.
What, like you get a random number?
Yes. What they stated is they're doing that because they're trying to replenish their local stock. So their stock is gonna go to their stores.
What do you mean, like
Warhammer
British
stores? No, to the
like
Warhammer
Warhammer
store.
official stores.
Right.
So like what? Like can GW not allocate enough stock to their own stores or something?
Apparently what they're trying to do is just go to their shops first.
Okay.
Which is kind of forcing people to go to GW's store.
Right. They're kind of like making their stores the hub of if you want something. Right. This is the only place that's guaranteed to get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had stated for local stores. They hadn't stated, but some people have said for local stores, you're not going to see a restock on Old World for a year.
Like Old World, because like those side games
Old
and
World
stuff.
Models, the Old World new models and stuff.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to get those back in stock for like a year.
So GW is basically trying to slowly make it so any store that's not a official Warhammer store is like a side store for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, basically. And the guy did a video on it's Pulsegate Gaming. He did a video. He was talking about how is Warhammer killing tabletop gaming.
That's a yes.
Yes,
I can confirm that one is a yes. Yeah.
They're basically dominating the market.
Yeah.
He brought up they kind of don't care about their customers anymore. They were at this point previously, and stuff happened, and other games took over.
Right. But this is the same setup that essentially the 4th, 5th edition era. Like they're creating a similar marketplace environment.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, is it killing? Because number one, and he was saying like, yeah, it if you want to buy GW stuff, yeah, you go to a GW store. But if a kid wants to buy something, he's not going to be able to buy anything at a GW store. Stuff is so expensive. Like, one dude is like $30. Like, you can get some paint. He did state he brought his kid to a GW store, and the GW like representative did everything in his power. Basically, it was the perfect GW walk into a GW store thing. Like
right. He hit you with the Billy Mays.
He hit you with the stuff. Yeah, Billy Mays. He gave him free Primaris mini.
Yeah.
Okay. but the kid had like some extra change from like whatever his birthday or something. But he couldn't buy anything. Like he couldn't afford anything in the store. And he was
Yeah, yeah.
stating that just kind of sucks because there's nothing really affordable. Whereas if you're going into a game store, say you go into a game store, like he goes into a game store with pocket change, he wants to buy Magic cards or Pokemon cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he can buy a deck of Pokemon cards or a pack of Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
But when he's going in, he sees other people playing games.
Right.
And that's what's going to drag him into these other games. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not going to
totally.
happen at a GW store.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like he sees people playing games, so people are just like, "Oh, it's $600 to play this game." Like,
Right. Yeah, the
Yeah.
gateway, the gatekeeping financially on GW games right now
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
it is, and I understand. And we're just like, okay, like he did bring up that gaming isn't like very cheap right now. Like, it's not affordable.
Uh-huh.
There are some more affordable games, but still,
I mean,
like,
but you don't see people playing them.
right? You don't see people playing them.
Right. As opposed
Yeah.
to like a PC game, you can get like a $40 PC game that has online
Right.
functionality, and you see YouTubers and like
Right.
Twitch streamers playing the game.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
and you can just
only
play
see
it.
people playing GW,
Right.
and you just can't afford GW.
Right, yeah. Even if you see people playing the hobby, like you still can't
Right.
play. You can't just buy the game and then at the store crack it open and play with some people. That's not how GW works.
Not how GW works. Yeah.
Right. And even if you can crack it open and build it there, you don't have enough pieces to play the game.
Right. To play the game. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's why GW pushes the hobbying. Like, you want a hobby, like, take your time. Like, you want to buy models, paint them.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
that's part of like I think because we were talking about this last week off recording, but they're slowing down their releases on purpose,
Right. On purpose.
to encourage people to hobby again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that.
And I can see that's kind of a good idea. Like, they're kind of mitigating it, but it's still like GW is dominating the market, and because they have their own store. But he had stated that GW is gonna price themselves out of their own market, but I don't think that's true. Like, I think GW can create its own market.
Yes and no. So the problem is GW currently created a market, right? For this current edition. The thing is though is like this is really the only market that they could target. Like if this market goes away, the one that's currently into 10th edition, what are
Right.
they going to target next? Like there's not another
I mean, yes, I don't
middle
think
class
they
market with expendable
Right.
money that's going to
I don't
throw it
think
at
they'd
little plastic
be-
people.
this big like they are currently. Like, they're gonna need to cut back a lot
Yeah.
and stop production on certain things, but
Yeah, but that's the thing is this market that they're in, this millennium we have too much money and no kids market is the prime market. And I get that's why
Yeah.
they're targeting in this market right now. Yeah, like we've got lots of money and no kids and nothing better to do
Right.
with it. But I mean, if
And-
this market gets sick of it,
right.
there's nothing
Or-
else. Yeah.
But there's nothing else to move on to is the thing. Not currently, and not, I think, for a while. I don't think anything could come up. It would have to be a massive shift in the game, like, world, to get away from GW. Like,
Here's the thing I think you're also downplaying is I think you're forgetting how quickly and how fickle the modern world is. Like people buy games and spend a lot of money on games and they are more than happy to drop it. Like
I
yeah,
think right now the whole group is being kind of held up by the competition players.
oh yeah. The competition
Yeah.
players will always be there, yes, but 100% I think companies have learned that the competition players are not where the bulk of your money lies.
Right.
And
I think that again, yeah, it'd have to be a total shift in like the game realm that will get people away from GW.
I think that will happen. Not in 10th edition. I don't think it will happen in 10th edition,
Yes.
but I think
I don't think it will this edition, right? Yeah.
no. But I think in 11th edition, I think the risk is actually pretty high. Because I really do
Yeah,
feel like this edition feels like fourth edition. Like fourth
right,
edition, like literally no one felt like they could compete with GW,
right,
and no one could at the time.
right.
Fourth edition is also the edition that I got kind of burned out on the game and I stopped playing it. And fifth edition hit, and it was more of fourth edition. And tournament players love fifth edition, and
Yeah,
casual players were sick of it, and everyone bounced on the game.
yeah, and I could see like where it's, but they have a lot of selection now. Like I think back then the models weren't that great. Like you had some cool models, but you had a lot of kind of old, like worn out models. Like GW makes really good models now. I
They
give it
do.
that.
They
Like
make good models. Yeah, yeah. No one will disagree with
and
that.
and you know people say that there are better 3D printed out there.
It's a 3D print isn't where people are going to compete.
Right. I
Yeah,
think that's still I think painters and stuff like that, people who really like minis themselves are gonna be in that area, but I don't think the mass like the
yeah,
general masses. And he was talking about like one page rules. The reason one page rules is popular is because it has 3D printed model.
right.
Which I think people who just can't afford GW is going that way. Like I could print as many as I want and play whatever, but still, like
That, but people who aren't spending money aren't going to
right,
compete with GW. That's the thing.
right, yeah,
If you're not
yeah,
spending money, GW could care less
yeah,
about you. You're not their audience, so
right.
that's a non-point.
Um,
I think in order to compete with GW, they have to take the I'm paying money crowd.
there
That
is an interesting thing. Um, I saw Rampart minis. They do like a bunch of terrain and stuff.
yeah.
Like they do a bunch of like it's their basic GW competitive terrain. Like
Uh,
it's modular. You can put it together. You can build ruins and stuff. They've done a bunch of Kickstarters.
okay.
Black Magic Craft showed a thing. It's a experimental thing right now. It's kind of in a beta phase. It's pre-painted terrain, plastic terrain,
Okay.
but or it's like not it's kind of laser printed. It's etched into the terrain, so it looks like it's what they do is they have a person paint the terrain,
Okay.
they 3D scan it,
Okay.
and they have like a UV printer or whatever that prints it out onto the piece in full color.
Oh, so it's printing the color.
It's printing the color, yeah, onto
Oh,
the
okay.
plastic
Okay.
piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
pretty like durable too. Like you can scratch the surface without like anything you do that would scratch the paint would scratch the paint off of
Okay, so
painted
it's still
stuff.
paint, right?
It's
It's not
it's it's a
indestructible.
lot more durable. It's not indestructible, but it's a lot more durable because it's baked into the plastic
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
And he's saying that
nice.
right now it's in its experimental stage. It's not as like high fidelity, like
Okay, yeah.
but
It's not it's
right,
not 8K yet,
it's not yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
okay.
it could use a little tweaking. But that's a thing where it's like if they can do that and they could do it on a mini,
Like pre-painted minis, like
you could
quality
have
pre-painted minis.
quality pre-painted minis.
Oh,
Well, not even like they're pretty good quality. Like they look nice. They look better than the pre-painted
right.
stuff from anyone else.
I got an interesting hypothetical. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's give it 5 years, right? And let's pretend that they perfect the technology.
Yeah,
Like we're rocking like 12K printers, and they can paint at that quality, so you can get
right.
some real nice detail. Will that kill the hobby?
I don't. Well,
Because
I don't think it'll kill the hobby itself. Like people will. I think more people will be willing to play because Mage Knight and Hero Clicks. Okay, people will say that killed the hobby.
right. I mean that's what I'm citing, right? Is back in the day that in a way like caused a shift in the hobby.
I think if one, those were better painted minis, which they later got a little better with the Heroes Click stuff,
Yeah.
and they weren't sealed boxes. I think they could have did more.
The randomness was a problem. I
It was a
agree.
problem later on. I
Yeah.
think early on it was the thing because Magic was big. Like everybody was like wanted to open boxes, and
Right.
you get that. Oh, that's awesome! Or I got a cool thing, or you just
Right.
got
They
like
want
a
the
hundred
gambling.
bunch of trash, right? Yeah, you want the gambling, what the gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you can perfect it and you can make easily painted minis, I think more people will play, but the hobby side, maybe less people will paint. But I don't know. I think less people want to paint. Like,
Right, but here's the thing, right? Like, would you be happy playing if everyone's Ultramarine army looked exactly the same? If everyone's Eldar army looked exactly the same?
right,
Like, would that take away? Because like we kind of complained about that in the past, where GW minis are so nice now
right.
that there's no reason to convert, right? So also all your miniatures in terms of the figures and the silhouettes do look very uniform and very samey. If we took that to the next level and now the paint jobs were nice enough that there's no reason to paint, but now the silhouettes and the colors are exactly the same for everyone, would that just kill people's desire to have those original unique armies? Would that make the game just look so static and uniform to the
I don't
point
think
of losing
so.
that
Like,
individuality?
I think a lot of people will be like for it, but I think a lot of people. I mean, people will want to do the customization, which you can still do anyways. Like, you could paint over it or whatever. The like Pablo for Dust, he had painted minis, but they were premium painted minis. Like, they were really nicely painted, but they were also like 5, 6 times the price of a regular unpainted version.
That's just
Like,
basically paying someone to commission paint you, though,
right?
right? Yeah.
Yeah. If you can get it for little more than unpainted, like,
Right.
I
But why
think
wouldn't
most
you at
people will
that
be
point?
okay with it.
No,
Right.
I think people would be okay with it, but wouldn't you get sick of just seeing the same army on the table? I mean, we already are
I
sick
mean,
of seeing the
yes,
same
you're
army
gonna
on the
you're gonna
table.
see the same army on the table, but I think a lot of people, if you can get them in whatever flavor that you want, I think people are gonna be fine with that. Like, oh, can I get my Blood Angel models? And I think there's people out there who want to customize, but I think there's people who just want I want Blood Angels.
Right,
Like,
right.
they see that image and that's what they want.
Yeah, but don't think that will exasperate the problem we already feel today? Like we watch YouTube videos and we're already sick of it. Everything looks like something we've already seen. You don't think pre-painted would just emphasize that problem to a much larger degree? And kind of basically what I'm thinking is
Right.
this is the road of burning people out on the game. Like
I mean,
nothing is
like,
interesting, nothing is original. It's just that road of
I
burning people out.
I think it would be more gamey. Like, what is the difference between that and a magic card at that point? Like,
Well, the difference is how much you have to buy into it. That's the only
right.
difference.
Like,
Yeah.
it is basically just a magic card.
Right. Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. I see what you're
yeah,
saying. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. It would
right.
basically break it down to the collector hobby would basically go out the window at that point.
Right.
And the only aspect would be is the mechanical play the game aspect
Right.
of it.
Mechanical play the game aspect of it.
Right. And I kind of feel like that would push a big chunk of the crowd out though.
I don't think GW is gonna do it. I think
That's not the
someone
road they're
else is gonna
going.
do it. Yeah.
I
I
see
think
what you're
someone
saying.
else is gonna do it, and someone else is gonna jump on that. And I think people are gonna jump on that.
Yeah.
I think a good group of people are going to jump on that because they're going to be like, "Oh, it's prepaid. I don't have to paint them. I don't have to put them together."
What's
Like, I think there's a large crowd that would be good, like,
what
with that.
what's funny is kind of what we're describing is the War Machine phenomena. I mean,
Yeah,
it is
basically.
like the War Machine
Yeah,
phenomenon
yeah.
is a card game in
Well,
miniature format
right.
that
But
didn't require painting.
it was the Magic or the Mage Knight format.
It was the Maze Knight
Yeah,
format also. Yeah,
it was the Mage Knight format. It was the Mech Warrior or whatever. Here, the Clicky Tech
Clicky Tech. The
format.
Clicky Tech was another one.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. No, you're right. I
and
mean, that's basically what happened.
those were not the greatest minis, but I think if you can
Well, for its
up
time, they
that
were really
quality, yeah,
good.
for its time.
Yeah.
And I think if you can make minis that work with that process really well,
Right.
yeah. Well, what do you like? You could even take that further and be like, if we're going into the far future, AI control the world future, no, AIs can do anything. But what if you could just digitally paint that model and then have them make it print it for you? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be
yeah,
amazing. Honestly, I think if that ever came to pass, they could steal a
yeah,
GW crowd.
they could steal a GW crowd,
Right.
like,
Especially if GW cultivates a tournament scene and someone
right,
puts out a better tournament game,
a better tournament game.
which is
Yeah,
what War Machine did. GW
right,
cultivated a massive tournament following, and War
right,
Machine came along with a better tournament game.
yeah,
And what's funny is I think that's kind of where I could see it happening again. Like I don't think GW learned their
Yeah,
lesson from last time.
right. I think people are gonna get tired of the meta,
Yeah,
and try like yearn for something else. Like
yeah, especially
they're
tournament
gonna,
people.
right.
Because yes, tournament people,
And,
if it's one thing that I've learned, is they need new things.
yeah, and that's the hard like. I think why they're changing it so much.
Uh huh. Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
agree.
It's weird. Like
No,
I
you're
know.
right. You're right. It
Yeah.
updates are for tournament people. They're not for
Right.
casuals.
I
Casuals will play fucking their broken
right.
codex or their underpower codex for
Well,
years. Dark Eldar players played for 12 years with that trash
right.
codex. I'm just saying.
brought up about GW's updates versus like computer game updates.
Ooh,
Right.
that's a
You
good
brought that
one.
up before,
Yeah,
and I'll bring this up because it's current events.
yeah,
Helldivers did some stuff.
yeah.
Helldivers 2 did some changes to the meta
Uh huh.
that upset a lot of the people
Yeah.
because they were using the meta. And
Uh huh.
this is like high end, like sweat lord level.
Right, right, right.
And they're just like, you nerfed the railgun and now it's not as good anymore, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Like there was nothing wrong with it, blah, 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 blah. But other people are just like, you should just play the game or use another weapon. Like, don't chase the meta. Like,
But that's not. But that's the thing, though, right? That's not what tournament players are playing
right.
for.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So it's like an interesting one is like Street Fighter. I follow Street Fighter 6. They have committed to only updating their game once a year. Like
Oh, wow.
and it's after Capcom Cup. So basically like Ken was broken. Like everyone agreed that
Right.
Ken was top tier. Ken, Luke and JP. And they just let it rock. To Capcom's credit, they let it rock a whole year. And people were just
Right.
like, when are you gonna nerf it? And they're like, after Capcom Cup. And if they're just like, we're gonna just let it ride. And they did. And people played it. But that's the thing is people played it all year. You don't need to
Right.
appease the whiny ass fucking people.
The thing is, what is their release schedule? Like, when do they release new characters?
They release characters essentially once a quarter. Every 3
Right.
months they get a new character. Yeah. And they
Like,
release the character and they patch the character once 1 month after if there's like clearly like mistakes, like
right.
a combo doesn't work as intended or something like that, blah blah blah. But otherwise, like there is no patches for other characters in between there.
The big thing is like for a game like Helldivers, they're updating it every like couple of weeks or every month or so.
Right.
So it's causing you have to have that constant balance. But they're also putting a lot of new stuff into the game. Like they're ever evolving the game, which I feel like Helldivers is getting into like GW territory,
Right.
where GW is trying to they're nerfing the good stuff, so you use everything else.
Right. I see that.
Which is not people are like that's not the way to do it. Like
Well, I agree. Like with Street Fighter, like you don't buy characters one at a time. You buy the season pass, right? You get and then you just get all the characters. Like they'll just release it when they release it, and you get the characters. Whereas, right, with GW or with Helldivers, if an item sucks and no one buys it, they're gonna nerf the good things and buff the weak things, so you buy the item. Otherwise, you just won't buy it. Like
right, or you never use it.
Oh yeah, you just never use it, or like it's basically like a development that went to waste for the company. So I agree that the problem is you shouldn't release a shit product, but companies also are rushing to meet deadlines and releasing shit products. So
they're also trying to balance like the ever evolving meta of the game, because people have done like people have formed a brand new meta when they released Helldivers. The way, because they had stated, the dev stated the way they thought you were supposed to do stuff, people like found other methods.
Obviously.
And that became the meta.
That's how players work, right? Gamers gonna game, obviously.
And then they change stuff, and they're like, stop doing that. Like,
see,
that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay. So here is a personal gripe. I understand, right? Sometimes players break the game. Right. I actually think it is extremely unhealthy for developers to see players be creative and have player expression in their game, and then for players to get punished for it.
Right.
I think that is actually extremely detrimental to the game.
And I will say, like, it is that sweat lord meta, but that's the people that are like, those are the people on YouTube. and
It,
that's what everyone is seeing, and
uh,
everybody's like, "Oh, I gotta use this weapon."
I agree that the problem is somewhat social media. There's
Right.
there's definitely a negative influence that streamers cause. As we say that as we're about to stream this podcast here.
Right.
But I agree that it's there. Like I watch it. I'm
Right.
susceptible to it too. I see streamers doing incredibly strong things in whatever game that I'm
Right.
consuming, and I'm just like, why am I not doing
Right.
this strong thing? You know?
Well, and they had stated yes, like now they've changed a lot of stuff and they've done some things. They're kind of like the meta you guys use to take out whatever the top end thing, like that was cool in the release, but that's not how we wanted it to do.
Right.
Like you're to fight the Bio Titan, like you just got to work together. Like use your stratagems as a come together as a team. Like make a good team. That's how you play the game.
Ugh, that's some
So, like
Nintendo ass shit right there.
don't be stupid.
That's some Nintendo shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I I
They're
see.
like a good
I'm
team
always
can
super
handle
torn.
everything.
I'm always torn on stuff like that. Like, on one hand, I'm like, the game was intended to be played a certain way, and the
Right.
developers want people to enjoy the game the way they intended it. On the other hand, I paid you money for your game. Like,
Right.
why
Yeah.
are
I
you
just want
not
I
letting
want
me
to play a
have
game.
fun with the game the way that I
But
found this fun thing and you took it away from
the
me.
the thing I'll say is if you're playing it with a group of friends and you're not playing on like sweat lord difficulty, you're gonna have fun and you're gonna be able to do whatever you want. Like, yeah, there might be some challenging moments, but I feel that's part of the game. Like, it's only that top end people who are like, oh, this weapon isn't good because it doesn't kill the enemy fast enough. Like, you have a half a second to kill this guy. Like, yeah.
But
Like you
but
don't you kind of run into it, but it's more of an issue late,
but here's
like
the
high.
thing. Like, so counter that argument, right? The developers made an ultra hard mode.
Right.
Like, it's there. It's part of
It's
the
there.
game. It's not
Like
like
yeah, it's
they.
part of
It's
the
not like
game.
someone hacked
Right.
the game and made it more
Right.
difficult so they could sweat harder. The game has a mode to be played this way, so clearly it was intended to be played this way. Like, you
Yeah.
know, uh,
It gets you more stuff, and
right,
I understand. Like at a certain point, you get that journey. You got to play harder
right,
because you get that journey.
and you're rewarded for playing harder. The
Right.
game rewards me by giving me more stuff. Sometimes it gives me exclusive things that I
Right.
cannot get otherwise. Like,
I will say that the one thing that the devs are doing good is that their war bonds or their banners are not going away. They're permanent. You they will not go away, so you're never gonna miss them. They're always gonna be available
I have huge issue with games that sell based on FOMO.
based on FOMO.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
people can go to fucking hell.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people who are like, that's just a horror. Whoever thought that up is horrible. Like,
that would be Genshin. Genshin players are
yeah.
there on that one. I think started by Fate Go. I'm gonna call you out, Fate Go. That's your fault. Fate Go is the one who
I mean,
started that
right.
bullshit.
And Warzone does it too, and a bunch of other. Like,
Yeah,
there's a bunch
I
of
mean,
people
yeah,
who do.
they're not alone.
Right.
There's other games that do it for sure. But yes,
But
I agree.
it's I just for like Genshin and Gacha games, that's more the collectability side of it, though.
Yes, I mean,
Collecting
gotcha
PNGs,
games. You're not buying a $60 game. It's a free to play
right?
game, and then you're just
Right.
vomiting money at it. Yeah,
I mean, you're getting a good servant or river sometimes. Like some of them are super powerful.
right,
But
right. And you could play it for free.
right,
If you weren't trying to have like waifu syndrome, you could play the
right.
whole game for free.
You can play for free.
It's also not much of a
Spend
game, let's be honest. Like,
right
it's just a
15K
waifu
on Genshin
collector.
Impact.
Right. I mean, at least Genshin is a game. Okay, so I'll give Genshin a
All right,
sideways like
yeah,
a pass.
yeah,
It's a true
yeah.
game. It's not Fate Go. That's not a game. Like, it's just a waifu simulator. Genshin is at
Cool.
least a game that's playable. So
Like food collecting. Right.
it is waifu
Yeah,
collecting. Yeah.
I give you that. Yeah.
Right.
No, it is interesting, and I see what GW is doing, but they need to they need to calm down. They're eventually it's stated eventually they're gonna see what they're doing
Right.
and they're gonna like fix things,
Yeah.
but that could leave an opening for
I
someone to
I
come in.
I I, I do think that yes, not 10th edition, not 10th,
No,
maybe 11th, but definitely if not 11th, 12th. I
I
think I think
right,
within the next 10 years, I think something will come along that will pull the GW crowd
right. I
pretty
think,
strongly.
as much as I think from a game standpoint, I think they should 40K should go AOS, which is that unpopular opinion.
I mean, we're gonna hot take that right here. This whole channel believes that 40K just needs to go AOS. Absolutely, AOS is a much better game.
I think
I
that
said what I said.
if GW did that, that would kill the market.
I'm
Like
actually gonna title this video 40K should go
40K
AOS.
should go
I'm gonna
AOS.
clickbait it, and it's because of this moment right here. 40K
Is it
should
here?
go
Yeah.
AOS. AOS is a much better game than 40K, flat out. So there we go. Hot take.
I
But
think that is
it
that
will.
is
You're
the
right. It will kill the game.
it will kill the game. Yeah.
100%. People
Yeah.
would just bail the game, light
Right.
their armies on fire, hopefully sell it to us for dirt cheap, and then in 10 years
I
they're gonna release 40K Classic.
right. Aside from that, I think that if GW did something in the way of like what they just did with 10th edition, like we're gonna give everyone an index again. That's people are gonna get tired of it. They're gonna be done. Like
Yeah, I think this is the last index that they're gonna be able to get away with for a while.
yeah.
Like, and they only got away with it because people really hated Ninth. By the end of Ninth, we were all
I mean
super
that's
sick of
fair, right?
Ninth.
They're all super. They just wanted to go. They wanted to go
Right.
away.
Yeah, we were all just like, you went from 8th to the complex of like beyond 7th edition within the
Right.
span of like 3 years. I'm like, I don't know how
3
you
years.
managed to do this,
Yeah.
GW. You ruined
Like
everything.
good job.
Right.
No, I think that they got to be careful. They really just need to get the codexes out,
I agree.
and
I
they
agree.
need to let people play the game.
They do need to let it, and then that's what I was saying about Street Fighter. To their credit, they just let the game rock.
They just let the game rock.
And
Yeah.
people, and I think we kind of touched on this like a long time ago too. People in the game discovered things that took them like almost a whole year. Like people were still discovering
Right.
tech by the end of it, and that's what happens when you just don't let people chase the meta. Like people will discover interesting interactions and discover like creative strategies that weren't previously there.
Mhm.
If you just let them cook, you gotta let people cook. Not every strategy is obvious, and the obvious strategy is
Right.
not always the best.
Not always the best. Yeah. Like people are gonna like break down the lists and the codexes and eventually find something.
Right. They're like, I didn't realize that the more complex interactions take time to find, and
Right.
yeah. And I mean, people do find them faster these days than, because of the internet and stuff, but not everything is found in the first month. Like no game is solved 1 month in.
Right.
So, yeah. That's yeah, I do wish, but like you said, also part of people being able to explore the game is we kind of do need all the rules.
Right.
So,
You kind of need all the rules. Kind of
yeah.
need
Like there's only so much you can explore when all you've
right.
got is an index.
Right. Well, then they introduce a new codex, and now that changes everything because of the
Right.
interactions with that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's new interactions, and then some armies that were weak suddenly like are really good against this
Right.
meta thing, or like it. Yeah, like it's gonna keep changing and it's gonna keep evolving
Right.
if you just calm down. I think that was the thing that GW learned from Ninth edition
Ninth edition.
when they released codexes, nerfed them down to index level, and
Right.
then they kept releasing codexes that should have been all balanced against each other. But the problem is they just kept nerfing them and basically like screwed their whole game up. Like it just was a
Right.
non-point at that point. It's like, why did you even release codexes if you're just gonna nerf them all to index level? It's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, GW seems to have kind of learned that lesson. I'll give them that credit, but it is rough. There's not really a good solution to it right now, I
Right.
guess. So, yeah,
Just
yeah.
looking through. I don't know if you look through the preview for Tau.
Tau?
This
No,
is
no.
interesting.
What they got? I'll
Uh,
overlay these pictures in post here.
they're just talking about the battle suits. Um,
Is it on Warhammer Community?
yeah.
Let's go over there real quick. All right, all right, all right. Actually, we could just click to we'll click to the full screen here.
I mean, they have crew here, but nobody cares.
Well, all right, we'll just scoot. Oh, we're gonna scoot you over here, and we're gonna. Uh, no, there you go.
I just think they're not going to be getting anything new.
All right. Here we go. Designing the Kroot. I'm telling you,
No,
Kroot
no,
life. Kroot life is a
the
thing.
Tau,
Oh,
Flight
battle
Close,
suits and more.
Alicia. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
It's apparently a battle suit based formation.
I mean, that makes sense. People do love them battle suits.
Retaliation cadre.
Okay. Bonded heroes. Tau battle suit model from your army makes a ranged attack within 12. Oh, strength +1? Oh, that's
Yeah.
actually nice.
+1 straight through.
Whoa, +1 AP if you're within 6.
Within 6, yeah. Basically,
That's
the closer
actually
you
super
get,
nice. Yeah.
more beneficial. Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool. All right.
Down at the bottom here, they also have like the shortened blade, which allows you to basically jump.
Whoa,
Oh, no, sorry.
is that a deep strike within 3?
Deep strike within 3, yeah.
Cannot charge, obviously.
Cannot charge, but the next
if-
one is Torch Star Gambit.
What is that? Tau battle suits from your army that can fly. If your unit is not within engagement range, you can make a normal move. Oh, it's a move, shoot, move effect.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you could drop within 3.
Yeah, then jump
and
back up.
then jump up. Yeah, back out.
Yeah. And that will get you within the 6-inch +1 strength, +1 AP range.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty nice.
Interesting thing. If you look down at the battlesuits themselves, why are they named? Why are they in a certain configuration?
Yeah, Fire Knife, Sunforge, and Star
Yeah.
Scythe. It's because you're not going to get options anymore.
Are you going to be forced to build these
Yes.
and only these?
Yes. Yes.
Because they're talking about
this
like
is
the
the
Lehman
direction
Russ.
GW is going. Yes.
Yeah. Like the Lehman Russes all have a fixed variant.
Yes.
The new splits Crisis battlesuits into 3 distinct datasheets based around classic configuration.
There you go. Sunforge is the Twin Fusion. Fire Knife is Plasma and
Yeah.
Missile. And Star Scythe is Burst Cannon Flamer. Yep. This makes sense though. This is the direction that GW went with for a while.
So yeah, it looks like they're just gonna break them down to like their value. So like you'll have the cheap set data sheet, the medium data sheet, the expensive data sheet.
Yeah.
And that'll correspond to the weapons that they have.
Yeah. And they'll probably give them like some like their own unique secondary like rules and stuff like that.
Right.
That kind of correspond with what their role is.
Well, that's interesting. That's probably gonna piss off some.
Absolutely,
Tau players.
absolutely. Tau players are not going to be having this.
Like nobody wants this configuration. They want dual plasma.
Oh yeah.
Like,
But that's why GW doesn't give you 2 plasma guns.
Right.
But yeah.
So this guy has 2 fusion guns though. What's this? Okay, the Sunforge configuration, blah 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 blah. They're all still Crisis battlesuits, but now you get custom abilities that help out their own chosen role. Take the Sunforge battlesuits, for instance. Their Sunforge ability helps to mitigate the low rate
there
of
you
fire.
go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Each one is getting their own little secondary rule.
With the Retaliation Cadre detachment rule in play, you're firing Strength 10, AP 5, dealing D6 plus 2 damage.
Here's the thing. You know one of these is going to be the best one, and you just triple spam that
Rerolling
one.
wounds and damage. What?
That one might be the best one, flat out. I don't know what the other rules are, but I don't know if it's better than this.
Only versus monsters it'd be.
I guess, right. I bet one is gonna have anti-infantry.
Right, anti-infantry.
Yeah, and one will probably have a sniper rule or something, if I had to guess.
New distinctions
or a blind fire rule, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. They're 3 different data sheets.
Oh, interesting. Did you see the
Yeah.
if you own crisis suits of different configuration, it will go to legends.
What?
So if you want a build your own crisis suit, there will be a legends data sheet for it, but it is legends, which basically means you don't get to play with it.
Yeah.
It's not real.
It just means if you did it, you could still play with them, but
I hate legends. I'm not gonna lie.
okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I wish GW would just man up and just write things out of the game. I know people don't want things to get removed. I disagree. Calling something legends is just as good as calling it unplayable. In fact, I think it's worse because if you get something broken in legends, it'll never get fixed.
Right.
I don't like the legends thing. I just wish they would stop doing it.
Okay, so the commanders are still the same.
Cold Star and Enforcer, yeah.
So
I
they're
wonder if
basically
their weapon
no
loadouts will get
customized.
fixed though.
I think they'll have different options. The two will have different options.
Yeah, but they probably won't have every single option. They might be a
Right.
little
I
bit
don't
more
think.
limited.
Yeah. I don't think that each will have. They won't be able to take everything anymore.
Yeah. Tau players are I should go check out the salt for this later. Now see this is what draws me back into GW. It's the salt of Tau players. The lamenting
Oh
of
wow, they're the Cold Stars. Still does what it does. It's you basically have move 12 and your range weapons have assault.
nice.
And then the
Enforcer has reduces AP.
yeah, the extra AP.
Yeah, so one's
That's not
more
bad.
offensive, one's a little more defensive.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. It is more streamlining.
Yeah.
It is giving you less options.
Yeah.
It does kind of suck for people who have already built
I
Tau
mean,
armies. But
that's been an ongoing comment that we've made of every codex that's released so far. This is
yeah,
great if you're a new player and you're just getting into this army. If you
right.
have this army already, this probably sucks. And we've said that I think for every release so far. Yeah.
Yeah, this I mean, like I said, this is good for new players.
Right.
I think I don't know if anyone is I don't know. I haven't seen anything on this, but I think people are just tired. There's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, my various feeds for GW, people are a little exhausted of crying about
Yeah.
GW or whatever weird thing GW has done.
We'll
I
see
don't
next
blame
week.
them.
It's apparently the beast, the rat dude for Necromunda. That's a two-headed rat. Is that not Skaven? That's just rats. There's giant rats.
Whoa, there's no
Not,
Skaven. There's no
not
space
Skaven.
Skaven.
They're not Skaven.
Even though
No.
that second head with the hood on it is very
Yeah, it kind of looks like
suspicious.
a Skaven.
A little bit. A
No,
little bit.
it's just a giant rat.
I see.
It's not a human-sized rat.
I see. I see.
Well, it is a human-sized rat, but
It's a human-sized rat. But it's
Right.
still a rat first. It's rat.
Right.
It's
Right.
not a rat-sized human.
Yeah. It's apparently a Millosaur.
I see. Suspicious GW.
Suspicious. He doesn't have a knife in his hand. Well, no.
No. He's leaning on a knife-shaped
Oh yeah,
object.
he's leaning on a knife. Yeah, he doesn't have a
Yeah.
knife in his hand.
Yeah,
He's not stabbing anybody.
yeah.
Yeah, not yet.
What is this?
Sure
There's
does look like that.
for onto the better game since we're continuing to rant about GW. Did you see this? A storm is brewing in the mortal realms.
Sigmar lied.
Sigmar lied. What is this? I'm gonna click on this here.
This. Oh, more. This is for Adepticon.
It's a
Preview
little
for Adepticon.
preview thingy. My audio's gonna be all fucked up about this because it's
very loud.
Yeah, it's coming through the wrong. Okay, the video was nothing.
Yeah, it's just
All right, thanks GW. I hate you.
saying that something's coming.
I'm sick of GW and their shitty ass trailers. You can go to hell. I got clickbaited on that one.
You clickbaited. You got the Kroot.
I'm Team Kroot. It's the best release they've had so far. This is a controversial video here.
Controversial right there. I mean, whatever. The Kroot. What can I say?
I like these spearheads for AOS. I'm a big fan of mini factions.
Yeah.
I like this stuff. I like these new flesh eaters actually. The new flesh eaters are pretty cool.
For your
Kudos to that.
Chronicles XX I guy. Oh, just a story. We do a lot of stories.
They do. They're pushing that narrative.
So many stories in Age of Sigmar.
Some of them are better than others, but
Yeah,
I appreciate the story. I appreciate that their stories actually do something,
right.
unlike a certain other game.
Man, Horus Heresy is just all about the lore dudes. Like they've just been releasing models with like lore to 'em.
Oh, all
like
the
the
characters that they've done
yeah,
recently. I
like
know.
the Black Shield guy that's too angry to die.
That's right. That's right. Kudos to that guy.
I'm just like, geez, man, this is just like Lord of the Rings.
Basically,
But
it's
30K,
basically the equivalent of
right?
Lord of the Rings. I'm actually cool with 30K. I like 30K's
Yeah,
lore.
I know I've
Yeah.
complained about this with Dawnbreaker's Book 5 is that they're adding siege rules in here. They have multiplayer
Is
rules
it a
and siege
complaint or
rules.
is it excitement?
It's excitement, but it's a complaint that GW is doing this for free on their
It
game.
is. It's for
Well, it's not for
free.
free.
Well, it's
You gotta
basically
buy the
free.
book, but
I
yeah,
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if GW at some point in the future was just like, her, free PDF for the
right.
multiplayer. Fuck it.
I
Like,
don't
we don't
think
care. Like,
is this supposed to have any rules in it? Is it gonna have the Dark Oath?
uh, let's see here. It's supposed to have. It's got the new sub faction for the
Oh, the
Morathi's
Mortark.
group.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's gonna have the Mortark too. The new
it's got the new Mortark, right?
Okay.
Morai Haig, the prophet, is supposed to be in
Yeah.
it.
Okay, so
Uh,
there's some rules in it. Well, there
yeah,
are other rules, but
it's kind of like their traditional campaign. There's gonna
right.
be a campaign book for every faction eventually.
Team-based siege campaign. Whoa, you're gonna have a castle? No, I don't know about that. They haven't shown anything yet. People were asking about
Oh,
it.
the big ass terrain piece.
Yeah,
People do love terrain.
like the
I love
old
terrain.
days.
Eventually.
That was interesting. Like, I don't know. Why can't they do it for 40K? Did it do this
Be-
for 40K? I don't know.
It's like it's the old War Machine argument. Hordes is a better game because
Right.
they get to take what they learned and do fun things with it,
Do
and that's
fun
kind of
things
what
with it.
AOS is. They
Yeah.
take what they learned from 40K, and they just creatively use it like with no restraint,
Right.
and you get cool shit. And it
Yeah.
can't be broken because like the constraints of the game are
Right.
narrow enough that it doesn't allow them to overly
Right.
break the game.
And sometimes GW does cool stuff. Like sometimes 40K gets cool stuff, like this mech guy, except he comes in a shitty box with a stumper.
That's what I'm saying, right? GW. That's the problem with it too.
Why?
40K is about selling stuff.
It's a freaking stompa and 10 boys, a truck, and 10 lunas. That's it. It's a fucking stompa.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying,
why?
right? Like, what's the value in that box?
The
Nothing.
value.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
In AOS, they're like $150. We'll give you 3 giant dragons, and you're
Yeah.
like that. Aren't they like $100 each? And they're like, yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, sure.
You want
Like,
cool
get a whole
dragons?
new army.
Cool
Too.
dragons. It's like a whole army
We'll
in their
let you.
box.
We'll give you rules to play them.
Right, the rules are free. Just download them.
Yeah.
Named character. It's basically a chaplain on a dragon. It's like that's
Right.
cool, right? It's like yeah, okay. It's like that's what I'm saying. Like
Then what they give the custos? They got like 6 bikes, 6 jet bikes. I could read it.
oh,
Some
have they
Terminator.
previewed? Is it on Warhammer Community
Yeah.
yet?
Yeah. So well, this is the what's his name? The character, the new character.
Okay, okay.
Man, I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, we don't
I have a
custodians.
custodian's box, but I don't know anything about this. This is new shield captain. He's just a new shield captain. That's it.
He's a name guy though, right?
Uh, it doesn't say. It just says shield captain.
Oh, he might be generic then.
He doesn't even have a name. He just a shield captain. Oh yeah,
Okay,
shield captain. Yeah, that's all it is.
okay, okay.
You get 5 custodian wardens, 6 terminators, 6 praetors.
That sounds like a lot of models for a custodian's army. That does not sound like 500 points. That already sounds like way more.
18 models.
That's like a 1,000-point army at least.
I mean, I think this is the same as the orc army because the Stoppa is expensive,
That
but
makes sense.
not worth it. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Uh,
Oh shit! You could already download the AOS War Scroll for the Crone Army.
shit.
The book isn't even out yet, and they're
Right.
like, if you want to figure out if you even want this book, how about you just download the rules for free?
Man, people looking at this rumor engine being like, "Oh, blood angels."
Okay, people, and you know what though? Like space at this point, Space Marine players, you do you Space Marine players. Like you do you. You're good. You're good.
I really want them blood angels.
They do. Well, it's because Blood Angel players saw all the new shit and they're just like, we can't handle it not being about us.
Can't let the
That's
Dark
just the
Angels
Blood
die.
Angel, your average Blood Angel player. Space Wolf players don't care though. They're busy like trying to complete their sagas or whatever the shit they're trying to do.
They're trying to get a victory point.
They're trying to get a victory point. They're having their own models steal their objectives from themselves. They're
Still
not
trying
doing
right
well.
now. Yeah.
They're not doing well.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. So they're doing some new stuff. I just want to see sisters. That's all I care about.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. Soon.
What they're gonna. Well, I mean, I want to see sisters and I want to see chaos. That's
Chaos for sure.
yeah. Chaos is gonna be the big one.
Yes.
Not gonna be Emperor's Children though.
No.
Not this year.
No.
Not there's no way.
Unfortunately.
Do you think they're gonna announce AOS new edition?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think this is where they're gonna announce the new edition.
The new edition.
Because we're in March right now.
March,
Yeah.
yeah.
So pretty much I think what's gonna happen is once they announce it, I think other than the few like 40Ks that we already know, it's just
Right.
all AOS all out from this
pretty
point
much
on.
June.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that makes sense. June, July is when they usually release a new edition.
Yeah. And we're just gonna get a big push leading up to it.
Leading up to it.
Yeah.
With the trickle of 40K.
Yeah, they'll just drop some 40Ks that like every
Right.
now and again just to like
Sisters,
keep people around.
GSC, Chaos.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, it's just gonna be an AOS push.
Yeah. Listen, Beetle. GW. 40K just needs to be AOS.
They do.
Hot take.
Hot take. It's
Hot
truth
take.
though. You gotta accept it into your hearts, people. AOS is just a better game.
You also should play something else.
Y'all should just play AOS. Actually, that's
You
what
should take the time and play some other game.
People should just go play
Okay.
some other game. Maybe not War Machine.
Play something else.
Like, not that one.
Don't play War Machine. Nobody,
Right.
People are like, "Oh, War Machine's coming back." Like, no,
no.
I don't think so. I don't know where this is coming back, but it's good. They can come back in that area. It's not coming back anywhere around. It's never come back anywhere around here. It is a dead game for like no one will ever play it. It started to get a slight like resurgence, and I think the fourth edition killed.
And then they killed it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then they killed it.
I think fourth edition completely killed the crowd that was already playing it,
I agree.
and that's just a death knell. Now no one is playing it because you can't sell that shit.
No. The best they can hope for is some painter wants their models at this point.
Yeah, I mean they got rid of their backstock, so besides like the little bit of fourth edition they got in that they still can't sell, that no one bought. I don't think anyone bought it.
No one's gonna buy that stuff. No.
Yeah, like that should sat on Brooke or her shelves for a year.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, even Privateer was selling their shit for like 80% off. I'm just saying that's how you know it's bad.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I mean, it's good for people who like the older edition. You could buy the models and play the older edition.
Uh-huh.
You're just not gonna have new stuff.
Yeah, that's
Right?
not how it works.
Right?
We all know that's not how it works in the least.
No one else is playing the game anyways.
Indeed. All right. we're gonna try to keep these podcasts to 1 hour, so that way we don't,
Yeah.
people can only handle so much of our salt, and plus we gotta
Right.
save the good stuff for the next time too. Like we'll be back with more salt. We're gonna record these periodically and release them out to the
There's an
world.
Adepticon preview coming. That'd be
Oh
weird.
shit, that's true. We're
That'd be
gonna have
weird.
lots of salt about the shit that we have opinions about that. We missed some of the other previews. You missed all of our good ranting. So from here on out, for the rest of this year, we're gonna try to do at least. Well, maybe we'll record them as we do them, but we'll release one a week. That's the goal.
I'm sure GW will create some drama along the way.
I am sure they will. I'm sure. All right, everybody. This is we're gonna call it out on whatever episode this is. We're gonna have to look up what episode we're on. Maybe this is episode 1. 2023, episode 1. 2024. No, 2024, episode 1.
2024 episode 1.
Saltcast. Welcome to the Saltcast.
Season whatever.
Season 3. We're calling it season 3 right now, the Saltcast.
Oh, okay.
Officially. All right, peace out, everybody.